Assassination Classroom Season 2, Episode 10. Not you, Kunodon. I don't want to hear it from you, traitor. School festival! Now you're talking. Okay. Kunodon is back on my good side. Yay. Hooray! I don't know about you, but when I go to a school festival, what I'm thinking about is employers. No, rich! Yes! My true life's goal. It is? Wow. What is this, college football? Right, this is another one of those situations where it's like, why do you need school? We're competing over brand sponsorships now. This is a new low. Classy is so past this. And there's so much better things. He's just battling himself at this point. Like Nagisa's mom last episode. What do Nagisa's mom and this kid have in common? Oh, they changed their clothing. That's cute. Oh, yeah. They changed his face. Nice touches. Intro changes. Things I usually miss. 10th period. School festival time. Will there be singing and dancing? If there's no singing and dancing, I don't want it. More than a restaurant. Like a national corporation. That's true. We're above it, but we don't want to lose. We take it seriously, like we take everything seriously. Right, we have less money. There's great metaphors here, though, with money and service. Acorns and ginseng and fish and whatever that was. Mushrooms. Let's not attack customers with anything, but sure, we attack our customers with greatness, great products. Our second blade is commerce. Oh, it really was acorns. There wasn't a metaphor. Don't oversell it now. I would buy it, just I'm curious what acorn noodles taste like. I didn't know you can make noodles out of acorns. This is a new experience. Looks a little quiet. Oh, there's still a chance. We can still save them. We can still help them. Maybe we've already helped them. Maybe they just needed an ass kicking. Oh, let's not go down this road. There's so much potential here. I'm so happy they made a comeback. You weren't just lost to the depths of your own sad, lonely misery. Look, you gotta eat. This is make or break time. It's amazing. You have been converted. Never watch anime hungry. Never watch anime hungry. Stop it. Oh, that's okay. This is cheating. It's not really the acorns that we're tasting. Yeah, it's just, you know, acorns and mushrooms and ginseng. Oh yeah, and premium steak. But you barely know it's there. It's like that story, stone soup. Yeah, we made soup out of stones. Kind of, but not really. This is a 1-2 punch right here. They're converts. And now we can save them. I don't know what you just said, but I'll try it. Spend your money. Then be off with you. Don't come out without money. The ATM, have you heard of it? Oh, they crushed this, yeah, for sure. Well, admittedly, for young adolescents, it's just total attention monopoly. Right. Yeah, that's devious. They designed it around countering E-class. Oh, we are dancing and singing. I mean, in all honesty, there's no shame losing to this. This is pretty amazing. Like, if he earns the win, he earns the win, you know what I mean? It's good that he has friends, too. He must have some qualities we're not really seeing. Because they like him. They're saying all this when he's not around, so it's not just fear. Oh, it's you guys. I thought we had escaped you. Why are you just touching me? We can't take this kid's money, though. I had a school festival day experience as a teacher in China that was one of the best days of my life. I was asked to make an event, and I figured I'd play the card game Speed, which I think maybe ruffled some other teachers' feathers because literally my setup was 2 desks and 2 chairs and a deck of cards, where like other teachers put so much into it. But it drew a lot of people. And the way I did it was students bought coupons, and you could exchange the coupons for food and other events and stuff. And so I sat there at the table, and I gave them 1 game for free, and then they could bet against me for coupons, where if they beat me, they would get coupons, and if they lost, I would take their coupons. This sounds terrible, actually, now that I'm saying it, with the benefit of some hindsight. So I took a lot of kids' coupons that day, but then one of my students just took it upon herself to be the one, and she played me in a couple rounds, and she took them from me. She took a lot of coupons from me, and it was great because their kids really wanted to see me lose, so there was a crowd, and when she won, it was just such a big deal. There was a lot of commotion, and I was proud of her, despite my deep resentment for having lost. Then I took the coupons I left, and some of the students had this gambling game where you had to throw a ping pong ball in cups and you get prizes, and they had one cup that had the equivalent of like $100 in it, which they mistakenly thought was impossible. But using some principles I learned from my deep studies in the art of beer pong, I managed to sink a ping pong ball in there. And then I had the money in my hand. There was a non-zero amount of temptation to just pocket that and walk away. But then, like, of course, I can't take money from the students. I gave it back to them. But man, it was such a fun day of school. Some of the kids got really drunk. I played Smash Brothers at one point. It was just so much fun. It was great. Because the best thing about that job was the kids. And I actually got to like spend time with them as opposed to just, you know, yapping. I mean, it's food, you know? I mean, like, one way to look at it is that, competition aside, this is a huge success and it's a great thing. I know we don't want to lose to the other class. I don't want to say the competition isn't important because it brings out great things. And that's the game we've chosen to play, so, you know, you want to play it well. But I think just on net, what we've accomplished is way more important than who's the winner. That's great. At the end of the day, it's forest noodles. You know, like, there's some of it built into the product. It can only go so far. Oh, this is interesting reflection, yeah. It looks different after the mom episode. That's appreciated, but the geese is always so warm-hearted. He knew where it was coming from. Wow, everyone's making a reappearance this episode. It's the greatest hits. Speaking of dancing, do a dance. That is dedicated. You just said. Acorn noodles are now $12,000 per ounce. Milliliter, whatever it is. The other system. Yeah, like, it's Acorn noodles. Like, I don't know. Some people really love food, but I feel like food, as amazing as it is, especially when you're hungry, like right now, it has a pretty quick upper limit. Let's just take a food you really like. Is there a 10x up from there? I guess it depends on how well fed you are. Yeah, let me put this a different way. A lot of this will depend on how hungry you are, and hungry is kind of like a couple times a day thing if you're eating regularly. Whereas like the social stuff that the other class is hitting, you know, where girls you like are dancing and, you know, you're mingling and you're playing games and there's some crazy stuff going on. I don't know. I just feel like it's built into the design of the events. Did you bring your wallet? We shouldn't have to do this for this competition. Now we're just abusing this poor kid who, like, is just lost and insecure. That was the one cool thing about you. And you threw it away. Who is running the restaurant? Who is making the acorn noodles right now? Okay, we're hunting. It's for our acorn quail noodles. What, foreigners can't have Japanese names? I think at heart you're a great kid. Oh, yeah, it's just everyone. Everyone's showing up. I'm glad you're alive. Yeah. We didn't know, we were just living in fear this whole time. Nagisa, I'm starting to think you're not who I think you are. No, not now. This is true. That's the first true thing he said.
嘘ついてるよな。
I was lying from the beginning. Also, I am not a girl.
すり寄ってくる奴らの顔はガキの頃からたくさん見てきた。わかっちゃうんだよ。上辺とかごまかし。
He doesn't deserve to be used or lied to, just because he's dorky. We're getting a little bit lost in the competition element of it.
いやらしい環境が育てた望まぬ才能だ。
We have that in common. What do you know? Nagisa knows something about that.
僕もね、この外見は子供の頃から仕方なくでさ。
Oh, okay. We just dropped the bombshell. I'm so sorry.
僕、
Yeah, okay.
男だよ。
This needed to come out.
またまた。
本当。
またまたまたまた。
本当だってば。見せれば納得。何を？
Let's not do that.
欠点や弱点も裏返せば武器にできる。
That's also random great line.
みんなそれが縁で集まってるんだ。
Yeah, we can safely call this a success, right?
すごく楽しいんだよ。
It's not like backing away from the competition. It can be both. This is a huge win.
でも騙してたんだし、飲食代は返すから。
いいよ。なんか自分
Yeah,
が
it kind of. I mean, I feel a little bad for him.
帰るわ。
I remember my first time being led on. Don't let it get you down. You have a lifetime of romantic deception ahead of you. This will all come out in the wash in your life of romantic deception. It's funny and a bit bittersweet how they switch places in a way, because Nagisa, through, a certain degree of deception, actually helped this kid make some positive changes in his life, or at least, changes he feels are positive, which is great. He was doing that for Nagisa, but that Nagisa never existed. So what was it? Who was it? And now he is that person. It's him.
ユージ君、悪いことしちゃったな。
It was a little bit short-sighted.
売上速報が貼られてたけど、このペースじゃ A 組と勝負。
Also, like the margins I feel aren't there for Acorn noodles. I know, we're picking it up off the forest floor, but we can't sell it for all that much. Oh. Oh, we used our online. Oh, I didn't know we could get people from outside of school. Oh, that makes sense. All those people are from outside of school. He's a food blogger? This kid's way cooler than I thought. Why does it lead to the food blogging thing? This is his hidden blade. Yuji's hidden blade is a whole career, like a food critic career.
くぬぎが丘の学園祭で
That's nice of him. And food doesn't lie.
人生観が変わりました。
I'll say.
上田立地を逆手に取った自給自足の食材の数々。欠点や弱点を武器に変える。
Wow, he added some philosophy into this too.
どこかそれを後ろめたく思ってた自分が
This is amazing.
なんか
This is
誇らしくなりました。
art. This article on food.
甘やかされた小遣いだって自分の武器。みんなの役に立ちゃいいので開き直っておすすめの情報を発信します。
Yeah.
が入るたびに取って
No, they're actively foraging in real time. That's hard. They ate the whole forest. Forest will never be the same again.
もう少し山奥に足を伸ばせばまだ在庫は生えてるぜ。
How far do we have to go?
いや、ここいらで打ち止めにし
Yeah,
ましょう。
yeah, okay.
で
Let's
も
right.
それじゃ勝てないよ。
We have one
これ以上取ると山の生態系
That-
を崩しかねない。
also. Not that
あら
I
ゆる
not
生
okay.
物の行動が縁となって恵みになる。
Circle. What?
君たちがどれほ
It's
ど
a
多く
metaphor.
の
The real
恵みに恵
connections
まれ
are the
てきた
friends we made along the way. It all came together in this moment.
結局今日も授業が目的だったわけね。
They're learning.
さあ、勝ちたかったけどな。
This is a great example of using something that is not ideal as fuel towards something that is an ideal. If that's what it takes, if it's just competition, or even if it's something darker like anger or hatred, having a chip on your shoulder, envy, those things are not desirable, they're not great, and there's very likely going to be some mistaken assumption at the root somewhere. Something's probably going wrong for those things, and we know that. But that said, these are emotions, and if you're feeling it, the good news is you get the choice of what you do with them, and it is energy. Like a good friend of mine has said, you can make these things a wind at your back. And since you have a lot more say over your actions than your emotions. Just personally, I think if those things go into something that is good, then maybe they're a blessing. So like the competition, it never really was like the highest thing we could aim for as kids in a classroom in an environment that is all about our own inner richness. But it's a game to play, and they took it really seriously, and they engaged with it, and they did good things with it, and it led to something really nice.
すみません、売り切れちゃって。
Is it mom?
残りたがる理由も
She's
わか
coming
るわ。
around. Something broke.
渚、この前のこの校舎での出来事ね。
Let's never speak of me trying to burn down the whole school.
知らぬ間に身につけていたんだって。でもね、渚、せめて成人までは一緒にいてよ。
Yeah, a lot of this is attachment, right? It's fear of being left alone.
せっかくあんたの親になれたんだもん。もうしばらく心配させてよ。
I think he's also the kind of person that will be grateful for the gifts
この世で出会ったすべての縁が人を育てる教師になる。
今日、あなたが
Yeah, I guess
生ま
that's-
れた日にしませんか？
theme of the episode, right? What is that?
あなたが私にくれた縁を 私はうまくつなげているでしょうか。
Absolutely.
俺の面のことは黙っておくってどうい
Oh yeah,
う
we
ことだ。
used your visage for our plot.
すげえな、えぐみ。行動家の店を抑えてトップだよ。さすが浅野くん。
Honestly, he deserved it. You know, he put on a hell of an event.
いい組って地獄みたいなところだと思ってたけど
Nah,
さ
that's the new
あ
hot
の自然
place.
の中で自給自足って案外羨ましいかもな。
Uh-oh. Hitting the principal's radar. You know, honestly, does he even really need to do all that much? You just pick out a new loser and you pick on them, and E-class just gets shuffled around to B-class or something. It still serves his agenda. Unless he gets deeply personal with it, and he is threatened by not being able to exert control in exactly the way he predicted. Let's see him overcome them without using threats or force. In true Assassination Classroom style, I love how in the middle of this comedic, lighthearted, somewhat episode, they just dropped the bombshell of your weaknesses can be your strengths, which is one of my favorite ideas. Your weaknesses shall become your strengths, just as your strengths shall become your weaknesses. There's a crazy ebb and flow to it. Your strengths are things you coast on, things you don't need to address, things you over rely on, ways that you're so capable you never really encounter obstacles in it, so you may not know it in as great a depth. Your struggles are often the things that teach you, and sometimes you find that the things that were once your biggest weaknesses become your greatest strengths just because you've had to focus on them so much. It's a different level of deliberateness. You don't like the sting of it, so you put your heart and soul into addressing it, and before you know it, you've watered it enough that something really nice has grown. It's great how this serves as a standalone episode, but also builds on that from last episode, where Nagisa grew up in a really hellish household, and yet it's very clear what the gifts of that are. For example, something like empathy, being able to see where people are, which has been Nagisa's gift from the beginning, always looking at people, seeing where they're at, observing things about them. That emerged as a survival skill, which is tragic, but like he turned it into something beautiful. This is especially hard to see as a kid. You know, there's the things you resent about yourself, maybe, or your inclinations, or things you really like, because as a child you have less options. You're less free to like choose your lane. Your environment is kind of your environment. School is prison-like in its structure, and kids are basic in playing a much more exaggerated version of what is kind of a lifelong game of people just trying to see where the masses are and then follow that for safety, like birds in a flock or fish in a school. How they all fly or swim, trying to get into the center so they're not picked off on the outside by predators. But later as an adult, you may find you're thankful for the things that didn't quite fit in at first, or were a little bit unusual, or were initially painful. One of my favorite things about this episode is the beautiful food review, which was so much more than a food review, by Yuji, the kid who was so intent on presenting this image of himself as this badass hardened kid, which he wasn't, and then ends up giving one of the most awesome expressions of anything. Asano also deserving a little bit of recognition here, putting on a great event. He's living in the shadow of his father. He's possessed by this idea of what a man should be, but he's obviously doing a lot of things right also. I mean, he's living like an adult professional life, and critically, I think it's obvious that his friends actually really like him and care about him. So, you know, just like the other characters, with a little bit of fine-tuning, there's a really, really amazing path for him as well. Oh, and most importantly, redemption for the high school kids that I thought we had just left behind to their fate. Their sad, lonely public school fate.